What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog here with another New York Giants video. Probably be off the grid for the next couple of days. It is Labor Day weekend. Hope you're enjoying your Labor Day weekend as I am so far. Weather up here is very nice. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe. Ring a ding 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 that bell, man. The New York Giants, a week from tomorrow, take on the Dallas Cowboys, and I can't wait. I'm going to crush the Cowboys in the video. God, I hate the Dallas Cowboys. We'll talk about that in another video. But I want you to like, share the video out, subscribe, all that stuff, because the Giants are going to have a great year, man. The Giants are going to have an awesome year. We know it. We feel it. Things are turning around here. The Giants have made great offseason moves. We're going in the right direction. Hyped up, man. Hyped up. Hopefully they can live up to the hype. Again, I'm not sitting here going, this team's going to win the Super Bowl and all this stuff. But I do think the team's going in the right direction. I'm excited about this year. I'm excited about the future because for a first time in a long time, we have a very clear and concise direction, a very intelligent front office, great coaching staff, and players that want to be here, players that want to play for Coach Dable, players that want to get in right now in the Giants organization because they see the trajectory of the New York Giants and they want to get on board here because this team is going places, baby. Let's go, Giants. So today I come across an article, could Mike Evans be a New York Giant? Listen, man, if anybody can pull this off, it's Genius Joe. Mike Evans has been talked about in a lot of trade rumors. You know, Mike Evans and the Giants, we've heard this before. Could this be possible? Let's read a couple of quotes here. You know, Joe Schoen, when he did his presser with Brian Dable, said this is our time of year to just walk through the process. We divvy up teams, we make our calls. And he said he's known Monty Austin Fort, the GM for the Cardinals, for a long time. And he said they did a little texting back and forth, said, anybody available? Are you deep? Are you looking? And bang! Isaiah Simmons, a New York Giant, for a 7th-round pick. You know, he's only 25 years old. It's amazing. The Giants are a very young team. They have 39 players that are 26 years or younger. I think they're the second youngest team in the NFL, which tells you, again, they took a big accelerated step forward last year. They're very young. They got more athletic, younger, faster in the offseason. Like I said, man, these guys know what they're doing. And then, of course, they went out there and they added Boogie Basham, a 2nd-round pick from the Bills. He's 25 years old, so again, he's young. Didn't cost him anything, cost him a swap of picks. Big whoopity-doo, not really a big deal. So again, Joe Schoen not giving up the farm to get these players. What Joe Schoen has shown us, what he and Brandon Brown have shown us in their 2 years here, is Joe Schoen is certainly aggressive and is willing to wheel and deal. You know, he went out there, he traded Kadarius Toney. You know, we took that pick that we got from Kadarius Toney, we turned it into Darren Waller. We traded that pick for Darren Waller. Okay, so he did that. He traded for Isaiah Simmons. He traded for Boogie Basham. He's made trades. He's not afraid to wheel and deal. He's also known when to stay pat because last year there was all this talk about Jerry Jeudy and the Giants need to get a #1 wide receiver and they need to do this. And we saw that Chase Claypool took up a 2nd-round pick from the Chicago Bears. And it was a high 2nd-round pick, so almost a 1st-round pick. And Claypool didn't do anything there last year. Maybe he'll have a better year, but he didn't do anything last year. The Giants surely would have had to give up at least a 2nd-round pick and maybe more to get Jerry Jeudy. And would it have mattered? No. So they knew when to stay put. They knew that they needed assets, but the fact that they're trading, so again, it was a 7th-rounder for Simmons, but the fact that they're willing to give up a couple of picks here and there tells you that they feel they're getting closer to the guys that they want. They don't need as much draft capital to do what they want to do. Mike Evans would be an amazing addition to this team. An amazing addition. He's 30 years old, so it's not like he's past his prime. This would give Daniel Jones your #1 receiver. Now, I know, Brian Dable said, we don't really have #1 receivers. It's kind of who it is and this and that. And that's a fact. Whoever is going to be open, the open guys, that's where the ball is going to go. It's not like Daniel Jones is going to target one particular wide receiver because he's a number one. Like when we had Odell Beckham, he was obviously a number one receiver. Our number one in the receiving game is probably Darren Waller, but we have a lot of number twos and number threes. I mean, let's be honest, Wan'Dale Robinson, Sterling Shepard, Isaiah Hodgins, who could turn into that number one. Jalen Hyatt's got a lot of potential, but again, he's a rookie. Paris Campbell, was a high draft pick, or he was very highly touted coming out of Ohio State a few years back. He's dealt with a lot of injuries, did have a good season last year. But Mike Evans, I mean, this man is a proverbial all-pro, a Pro Bowler, the only receiver in NFL history to start off with 9 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. He averages pretty much between 68 and 90 receptions a year. So this guy has been the epitome of consistency. I don't know if I used that word correctly, but he's been extremely consistent, to say the least. He would give Daniel Jones, that proverbial number one receiver, a 6'5", so it would be another guy. You'd have Waller at 6'6", Hodgins at 6'5", Evans at 6'5". Can you imagine the red zone offense with a guy like Mike Evans? Okay, so Evans is currently at odds with Bucs management right now, okay? He's given them a deadline of September 9th to get a long-term deal done. And if no long-term deal is done, he could easily seek a trade. Joe Schoen, again, has kind of been linked to this. He'll definitely make a call. He'll see what they're offering. And if it's not too much, if they're not asking too much, if they're not asking for a first or a second, if they say, hey, give us a fourth rounder for Mike Evans, we can see Genius Joe pull a trigger. Listen, Joe Schoen's been playing chess since he got here. Other GMs play checkers. This man plays chess. And I'm telling you right now, it's very rare that I make videos like this. I'm not like another fan base that every time somebody's name blows in the wind, I sit here and make a trade video about it or whatever. So these are rare for me. But I saw this, and there'd be no question Evans could be that number one receiver. He's not an over-the-hill guy. And again, this may never materialize, but the fact that they have until September 9th, and if they don't get a deal done, that he could be searching for a trade, and Joe Schoen could certainly go out there and make the move and bring Mike Evans to the New York Giants. Now, how great would it be to have a proverbial number one receiver? Think about a Mike Evans, Isaiah Hodgins, Paris Campbell set up with a Darren Waller and a Saquon Barkley. Obviously, the Giants would have to get rid of one of their receivers, and that may be Sterling Shepard. It may be, Cole Beasley on the practice squad. But if you can get a Mike Evans, you are definitely going to make room for him, man. That would be the greatest thing ever. Like if the Giants, if Joe Schoen and Brandon Brown found a way to pull this off, if Evans doesn't come to an agreement when Tampa Bay. Now, it's very possible that the two sides do come to a long-term agreement and that he is off the table. But it's also possible that they don't. Tampa Bay is kind of going in a different direction. I don't really know what their direction is. They got Baker Mayfield there this year. Obviously, Brady just retired, so I really don't follow the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I can't sit here and go, I know what direction they're going in, or I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing in free agency. I know how their team is set up. I really don't. I don't pay much attention to Tampa Bay, to be completely honest with you. But if they are looking to rebuild, or they are going in a different direction, they want to get a young quarterback in there, they want to start over, you're probably not going to give Mike Evans a ton of money. You just don't do that when you're rebuilding. Look at I'm not saying Mike Evans is Kenny Golladay, because he's obviously way better, but you see what happened to the New York Giants when they gave Kenny Golladay all that money when we were in the middle of a rebuild. It certainly did not work. You don't usually build it. Wide receivers are very important positions, but that's not where you start a rebuild. You're supposed to start in the trenches. You kind of work your way out to that position. So it's a very interesting article. I thought it was good. And, just kind of got me excited this morning here. And I was like, I got to make a video. Give me your thoughts. Mike Evans, a New York Giant, would you want to make the move? I mean, obviously you would want to make the move. What would you be willing to give up for Mike Evans if you're a Giants fan? Like, how much do you think is too much? What do you think is just right? Like I said, if Joe Schoen could pull this off for like a fourth rounder, I would do it in a heartbeat. I'm not giving up a first or a second rounder, obviously, but if Tampa Bay is not going to get anything out of him, they can accrue a fourth rounder. We've seen this with a lot of guys. I mean, Kadarius Toney was a third-round compensatory pick. We've seen, it was years ago where Randy Moss went to the Patriots for like a fourth. It could definitely happen when players are disgruntled and, you're not going to get much in return. It's very possible that, at the very least, Joe Schoen will put in a bid. Doesn't mean he's going to get it, but I'm sure if Evans is on the trade block, our GM is going to be picking up the phone and saying, all right, Let's work something out. Anyway, so I got in this video. Enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend. Again, made this far. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, ring a ding ding that bell. And next week, baby, Cowboys Giants, can't wait. It's Bad Diggy Dizzle, and I'm out. Peace.